Hey, welcome or welcome back to my channel. I'm Joyce, and today we are talking about the Goodreads Choice Awards for 2023. So there are 15 categories. We will not be going over all 15 categories. There's over 300 nominees. I just don't read all the genres, so that's why we're not going to go over each category. This is my first time ever doing the voting. I just felt like this year I wanted to vote. All right, the Goodreads Choice Awards. Okay, here we go. So exciting. So the first round of voting is from November the 14th through November the 26th. And the final round is from November the 28th through December the 3rd. And then the winners will be announced on December the 7th. Like I said, there are 15 categories. I am not going to go over all of them. Humor, we're not even going to look at. Wait a minute, there's actually a book I just hovered over and saw. Oh my gosh, that's so surprising. Oh, wow. So I don't read humor books. I like when humor is in books, but I don't just pick up and read a book that is categorized as humor. But How to Stay Married, the Most Insane Love Story Ever Told by Harrison Scott Key. I didn't know that this was considered humor. Oh my gosh, and it's so well rated, 4.8, and it is a book that I want to read. All I know is I think he was about to get divorced and then him and his wife didn't, something like that. But it's also classified as a memoir nonfiction. So that's kind of cool that that's actually one of the books that's on my list that is a nominee. I love that. Not gonna go into history and biography. Memoir. I'm not gonna go into memoir just because I haven't read that many this year. Let me just take a peek because memoirs are my guilty pleasure. Just a quick fast peek. A quick peek never hurt anyone. Thicker Than Water is a book that I want to read. I am glad to see that made the list. That definitely gets me a little bit more excited to read it. Not really interested to read Prince Harry's. Not interested to read Paris Hilton's. I'd have to read more about these other ones. I am not interested to read Britney Spears. The Elliot Page book, possibly. I could be interested, but I don't know. Like, I don't have to read it. What else we got here? Young adult fantasy, we are not gonna go over. Young adult fiction, we are not gonna go over. Although, if I hover over the screen here, I see that Check and Mate is in here. That book just came out. I can't even believe it's already being nominated, so I think that's hilarious. Who else? I don't really read young adult. Oh, this is interesting. The Brothers Hawthorne. It's by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. So I did just recently buy the first book in this series. I didn't even realize it was a 4-part series. So I did just recently get the Inheritance Game. So, okay, I see you, Jennifer Lynn. Yeah, none of this other stuff. The Davenports is YA? Interesting. I didn't know that. Holly Jackson made the list. She's also the author of A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I did read that book and I thought it was a good time. Yeah, that's about it. So this isn't my genre. Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. My son actually read this book. He thought it was a good time. He does have it, so I mean, if I wanted to read it, I could. It is in the home, but I probably won't. We're not gonna go over romantasy or fantasy. I don't read romantasy and fantasy. However, I did just do my first fantasy read. It was actually Fourth Wing. That was the very first book that I read in the fantasy category, and I had a good time. It's not like the best book ever written, not anything like crazy or anything like that, but it was actually a really good time. So let me see, romantasy. Let's see if it's here, or we'll go to fantasy. Interesting that this assistant to the villain made the list because there's a chapter at the back of Fourth Wing, and I think it's the first chapter of this book. So, and I'm pretty sure that Fourth Wing will win. I haven't read any of these other books. I know nothing about them, so I'm just gonna cast my little vote for Fourth Wing. And then we'll just move along. Science fiction, not my genre. Horror is not my genre. However, I did read my first horror book this year and it was by James Patterson. It's not gonna be in here because the book is extremely old. It's from like the 90s or the 2000s, so I know it's not in there. Do I wanna look at nonfiction? I didn't read much nonfiction this year, although I do really appreciate and enjoy nonfiction. I just didn't get around to reading it as much. I generally like to read one nonfiction book a month, but that did not happen this year. Why did somebody write a book about butts? I have no idea, but I am intrigued. Obviously, the cover got me. So it's a 3.79 overall. I'm not gonna read this whole synopsis, but I am gonna add this to my list just because I feel like it's funny. and I can just deep dive into it later. It says, Butts is an entertaining, illuminating, and thoughtful examination of why certain silhouettes come in and out of fashion, and how larger ideas about race, control, liberation, and power affect our most private feelings about ourselves and others. And it looks like a short read, 320 pages. It's on the TBR. Let's move along. So the ones that I really want to get into are fiction, mystery and thriller, historical fiction. I do love a good debut novel. I really do. That's another like guilty pleasure of mine. So Mame made the list. That makes my heart smile. The Collected Regrets of Clover made the list. I didn't even realize that was a debut. Yes, I did. I did know that. I just forgot. I read both of those books and I really enjoyed them. Loved Mame. I think I rated that one like a 4.25 or a 4.5. Collected Regrets of Clover, I believe I rated that like a 3.5. Chain Gang is on the list. I can't wait to read it. I am intimidated to read it because I know it's a little sci-fi. Some people have compared it to The Hunger Games a little bit. So I'm not in a rush to read it, but it is a book that I want to read. What else they got in here? Wayward is a very popular book. Let me see. Oh, okay. This is too long, so I'm not gonna bore you with reading this synopsis. I will just read it on my own, but for now, I think I'm gonna add it to the list and then we'll just deal with it later. The September House got a lot of hype. A lot of people said that this was a really good book. Really good to read, I guess, in like September, October. It's giving like the spooky haunted house vibes. Not really my thing. But if I was going to read that, I really wouldn't read it now. I would have to wait and read it next year. So I'm skipping over that for the TBR. I did not realize that Pineapple Street was a debut novel. That's cool. River Sing Me Home is a debut novel. Love that. This is actually a book that I want to listen to in audio form. This is on my Audible wish list. So do I even have this marked? I don't. It's fine. It's over there marked. It's okay. Did you hear about Kitty Card? This book was very popular. A lot of people I know have enjoyed it, that I know personally. They've enjoyed this book. I'm not in a rush to read it. I did see that my library has it, so I'm open to reading it. And I like the idea of getting it from the library. That way, if I didn't like it, whatever, I can just take it back. I didn't waste my money. But I don't think I'm gonna add it to the TBR. I'm just gonna get it if I see it. I did not know that One Summer in Savannah was a debut novel. So unfortunately, I did DNF this book. However, I do think that this is a book I could go back to. It wasn't that it was bad, I just wasn't in the mood for it. It's a very heavy book, and then I wasn't interested in where the book was going. There is a lot of talk about science, which it didn't bother me. It was just like, I wanted something to happen and it wasn't getting there fast enough. So I did DNF it, but okay, I see that it's rated 4.17. That's good. So I don't know. I could see myself going back to it, but I just wasn't in the mood. So let us move along. Let's see. So I want to vote for Mame for this category, but let me wait and see, because it's also a fiction book, and I think I saw it in the fiction category. Let's go back. All right. Do I want to go to fiction? No, let's gloss over romance. Romance is not my top genre. My top genre is literary fiction or contemporary fiction. I don't mind if romance comes up in my books, but I don't like to primarily read books just about romance. I will read them and I think that they are nice sometimes. I just don't gravitate towards these type of books. So let us see here. And I know a lot of these I'm not gonna like love. I do like more indie romance than what's gonna be on this list. I did read Happy Place by Emily Henry and I did like it. I think I rated this book a 4-star. I liked it because the characters had more layers. It was a little bit more complex. It had a lot more going on than her other book that I read, Beach Read. I wasn't really a big fan of that. So probably will cast my vote for that. I did want to read The Right Move, and then I had like a change of heart. Wow, it is rated at a 4.46. All I know is it was about a basketball player, and so obviously I like basketball players. Oh, it's still on my TBR as wanting to be read, so I guess I'll leave it there. We'll see. we'll see if I end up actually reading it. You Again was a book that I did want to read. It ended up getting a 3.71 average rating, which is really good. But I just heard it's not like a book you need to read, you know? So I felt like this might be one that might bore me after a while. So I was like, I'll take it off the list. There's an Allie Hazelwood. Of course there is on the list. I didn't even realize that this book came out in 2023. I might give it a chance because I did read another book by her this month and I had to DNF it, which was a bummer. And I also bought Check and Mate, so I'm still going to give her a chance. Romantic comedy was extremely popular. I just don't think it's something I need to read. I don't really think I need to read anything in this category, if I'm being honest. It's just if I'm in the mood, great, I'll pick up a romance, but these usually aren't books I'm gravitating towards. I do have Meet Me at the Lake on my shelf, but I don't want to read it until after I read the other book by Carly Fortune, which is Every Summer After. What do we have here? In the Likely Event. This was on Kindle Unlimited and I did have it downloaded, but at that time I was doing a free trial. My trial was over and so I didn't get to read it. Yours truly, I think I'm gonna go ahead and read. This is one of those books, it just got so much hype. I was a little bit nervous, like, dang, what if I just like hate it and it's a romance book? I don't know, but I heard that it's not just about romance and obviously this lady is divorced and then I think it's like life after divorce, so I might enjoy it. I don't know. I'm not going to add it to the list, but if I read it, I read it. Hello Stranger. So it's so ironic. I did not know that this book came out this year, but I did just recently get another book by her from the library. What book is it? Oh, let's see. Things You Save in the Fire. So I do have this book. I got it from the library because I did want to try a book by Catherine Center. So I'll probably read that before I get into any of her other books, but it's nice to see one of her books here as a nominee. So The 7 Year Slip made the list. Wow. It has an average rating of 4.3. I knew it was me. I'm the problem. I didn't love it. Oh, I didn't. I was not like, oh my God, this is the best book ever. Was it cute? Yes. Is it something that I absolutely had to read? No. So we're moving on. Oh, let me just cast my vote because why not? It's not going to be for anything other than Happy Place. I'm pretty sure Happy Place is going to win, but we'll see. Okay, who do I want to get into next? Let's get into the ones that I am very excited to talk about, which are fiction and mystery and thriller. Let's do mystery and thriller first. All right, I know Frida made the list. Of course she made the list. The Housemaid's Secrets, really enjoyed that book. Glad to see it here on the list. I've actually never read a book by S.A. Cosby, but I know that is a very popular author, so maybe I should. All the Dangerous Things, this is a book that is on my TBR. I do want to read this book. It just sounds very interesting. I've never read a book that discusses or explores like sleepwalking, and I think that's what that book is about. I do have The Coworker on my physical TBR right now on the bookshelf. Haven't got a chance to get to it yet, but it's interesting that it is here on the list. Of course, Riley Sager made the list with The Only One Left. This book I heard got mixed reviews though. Okay, well right now the average rating is a 4.16. I know at first it hadn't even hit a 4, so that's good. More people are reading it and they're enjoying it. So I don't know if I'm gonna actually read it before the end of the year. I do have this on my physical TBR as well. I'm just nervous to read it. I am going to because I do own the book. I just don't know if I'm gonna get to it before the end of the year. Vera Wong, oh my God, I really enjoyed this book. This book will be very special to me because this was my first introduction to a cozy mystery. And I really like Jessie Q. Sutanto. I love her writing style. It was very easy to follow, very easy to digest, very descriptive. Loved how much they talked about food and how important it is to the culture. I listened to this on audio, so I really enjoyed that experience to hear her accent. When she becomes Vera as a character, it's so cool to hear it. I just absolutely love it. Vera is such a likable and lovable character. And there was a good amount of suspense in the book. Like some cozy mysteries, they fall short and it's like, give me something else. So I'm actually really glad that this book made the list. I'm happy to see it here. Don't Let Her Stay. Now, I do have this on my physical TBR as well. I just have not got around to reading it, but I do think this is going to be a good time. I can't wait to get into it. Maybe I should read it before the end of the voting and then cast my vote. Alice Feeney made the list. I still haven't read an Alice Feeney book, but I did get A Flicker in the Dark. Didn't she write that? I think she wrote that. Let me see. Let us see. I'm pretty sure she wrote that, but don't take my word on that. Anyway, that is a book that I want to read. Okay, now it's all mixed up. So let's start over in case they shifted. Happiness Falls made the list. You guys, when I saw this, oh my God. I am so happy this book made the list. This book was so special to me. Angie Kim deserves to be on this list for this book. I know that it didn't appeal to everyone. Let me see what the average rating is now. Okay, so it's gone up, 3.78. That's good. That's really good. It was a little bit lower and I was just like, whatever, I get it. I understand why some people didn't like it, but I am very glad to see that this book made the list. I don't think it's gonna win the category. I don't know if I'm gonna vote for this or The Maid's Diary. I'm shocked that this made the list. The reason I am shocked is because I didn't hear anyone talking about this book. The only reason I heard about this book is because of Audible. It was on sale for either $6.99 or $7.99. I read the synopsis. I loved it. I added to the list. I read it. I ate it up. So it was such a good time. Did not know that it was going to make the list. Like I said, I haven't heard not a single soul talk about this book. I haven't. So I'm really happy that it made the list because now more people will read it and there will be more talk about it. 4.28. Oh, this was a good one. I think I need to vote for this one only because I feel like a lot of people will vote for the Frida McFadden books, and I like, voting for the underdogs. Of course, Lisa Jewell made the list. I did read None of This Is True. That was a good book. I believe I rated it like a 4.375, something like that. What else we got here? What Lies in the Woods? I like the cover. I'll have to read about it and see if I want to add it or not. And then that's it. All of these we went over. Let's see, What Lies in the Woods. All right, 3.97. Okay, for decades, the friends have kept a secret worth killing for. But now Olivia wants to tell, and Naomi sets out to find out what really happened in the woods, no matter how dangerous the truth turns out to be. And they were all liars. Okay, this is good. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. I'm sure you guys can just look it up and read it. But basically it says they were 11 when they sent a killer to prison. They were heroes, but they were liars. Okay, let's add this. I'm intrigued enough. I don't need to know the whole synopsis. So this is good. This is good. I heard really good things about Bright Young Woman. I didn't add this to the list. Maybe I'll look it up and see if it's something I want to read or not. I have some questions for you. I didn't hear that many people talking about that, which is good. I actually like reading books that I didn't hear a lot of people talking about because, some people and their opinions can be a lot. Let us move on to fiction, my favorite category. Definitely gonna read Tom Lake. So glad to see that this made the list. I know that this is going to be a good book. If it's not, I'm going to be shocked. I do want to listen to this in audio form though, because it is narrated by Meryl Streep and I love her as an actress. So I think that she will do a great job of narrating this book. I am in the middle of reading Yellowface. I am 10 chapters in and this could win, but I don't know. I'm not voting for it because obviously I'm not done yet. And there are other books in this category that I think I'm gonna vote for. Wellness is a book that I want to read. This is another one I think I'm gonna do in audio form, but I'm not sure. It is on the TBR. I do think it's gonna be really good and I cannot wait to get into that one. The Collected Regrets of Clover was actually a really good book. It was obviously heavy at moments because she's like navigating grief. She's like a loner. Am I gonna keep reading it again, raving about it and talking about it? No, but it was good while I read it. What else we got on here? Okay, Hello Beautiful. I am so glad this made the list and I think this is the book that I want to get my vote. This book was beautiful. It was so good. It was such a good time. Wow, it was heavy. Like I truly miss these characters. So shout out to you, Ann Napolitano. I'm so glad that she made the list. Mame was definitely good. So I'll definitely vote for Mame in the debut if I already didn't. And then I'll just vote for Hello Beautiful in this category. Evil Eyes sounds interesting. The cover, it looks eye-catching. I'm so corny, it's fine. I heard that this is about a Palestinian family or woman, and I don't know what happens, but it says to save herself, Yara must reckon with the reality that the difficulties of the childhood she thought she left behind have very real and damaging implications, not just on her own future, but that of her daughters. Added to the list. So it sounds like something I like. I like stories about family. I like a good character-driven story. If it's done right, I like a good balance of character and plot. So yeah, that sounds like one I want to read. So yeah, I think that's it. Let me go ahead and cast my vote. I don't think it's gonna actually win. I hope it wins. I didn't read all the other books, but Tom Lake has a strong chance of winning. If Mom Maid wins, I would absolutely love that for her. I don't think The Collected Regrets of Clover deserves to win over those other two books. Yellowface is probably gonna win. I just feel like a lot of people will vote for that because a lot of people have read it. So we'll see. And sometimes it's not even really quality books that win. It's really just based off popularity. Someone Else's Shoes. I didn't see that the first time around. This one was actually really popular. I know she wrote Me Before You. So I don't know. Maybe I could see myself giving this particular book a chance. Oh, hello, husband. Yeah, so that's it. Let me see. Let me make sure. I didn't do my mystery and thriller vote yet because I think I'm going to try to read Don't Let Her Stay before the 26th. But in the meantime, let me just go ahead and vote for The Maid's Diary. It was so good. It was so good. Just in case I can't get back. If I feel like it's better than The Maid's Diary, then I'll switch my vote. Frida does have a strong chance of winning. I'm just not going to vote for it because I know a lot of you will vote for it. And oh, Happiness Falls. I should vote for Happiness Falls. I'm so conflicted. I need to clear my vote. Let me just clear my vote and think about this. Oh my God. The stress. Oh boy. Okay, that's it. That's it. Those are all the categories. I'm so excited to see who's gonna win. I'm definitely gonna do the second round of voting. I'm excited to see who's gonna make it to the next round. And I hope that you guys enjoyed the video, found some books that you can add to your TBR as well. Do not forget to prioritize self-care, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.